Oh, maybe over there. I think over here. Right over here.
Just give them a view from the computer. That's
I went to the wrong.
right.
Oh, that's all right.
Here. There you go. Okay.
Excuse me.
Are we ready? All right. I'm going to say a few words, defining hopefully why we're here and what it means. We've done it together a bit, worked a lot together, right? So I'm going to try now to, as best I can, talk about some of the things that I think either the two of you have been working on, trying to understand, improve on. Hopefully this will kind of bring it all together.
That's nice.
But basically we're here to, as friends and family, to affirm, to support, and to celebrate your relationship, right? In so doing, we share your joy as you now today unite your lives in the bond of marriage. So this is much more than just a little social get-together. This is the declaration of your marital commitment. That is a commitment that is born of your love. It has obviously evolved over the years through your experiences together. And it's now being grounded in a promise. And moments like these can feel sometimes a little magical. Feels that way a little bit to me, right?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yes, definitely.
But I believe that the real magic resides not just in this moment, but always in the feelings of the heart. And yet, we also know that love has a much broader and deeper meaning than just the personal feelings. Important as those are, as well. But love expresses itself through thoughts and through actions as well as feelings. In fact, I consider now this ceremony to be an act of love. It's a ritual symbolizing love. It's symbolizing now a transition to another stage, a new stage of your life. So Francis and Ariel, today you affirm the foundation of love that you've already begun to build for your life together, obviously. That is a foundation that is based on your trust in each other as best friends, as life companions. After today, life will go on in many ways as it has, of course. But I believe that your relationship now will hold a deeper meaning because of the promises you're about to make to each other. Accompanying your friends. So I like to think of this moment primarily as an open affirmation of a commitment that already exists. Your commitment doesn't start today, does it? No. That's because true commitment, and now our especially, is something that is always evolving and strengthening over time. Naturally, spontaneously, deliberately, unconsciously, slowly, sometimes painfully, and always because each of you remains absolutely devoted to each other and to your marriage. So the wedding ceremony is an open promise that in many ways has already been made as part. And that promise is to stand by each other, love and care for each other, and support each other during all of the joys and the sorrows, the ups and the downs. Now, a good marriage is both strong and delicate. It requires both negotiation and spontaneity, caring for yourself while at the same time caring for another. First and foremost, it includes accepting each other as individuals. You're separate, but you're not separated. You are different, but you're not dissimilar. And so marriage, you see, creates both freedom and responsibility. And within its fabric is woven fulfillment, and sometimes disappointment. Excitement, sometimes anxiety. Security, sometimes fear. The point is this: I believe it's quite important to remember that marriage is a very human experience, which includes the love, the affection, and the devotion that you bring to it, and also the challenges that life will sometimes bring, and that we all share. So, Francis and Ariel, you stand here now, publicly declaring that you choose to share your lives, your hopes, and your dreams with each other for the rest of your days. So let your relationship be one of what I call interdependence, in which neither of you is ever diminished by your marriage, but rather enhanced and nourished by your union. Encourage each other's spontaneity and support each other's interests. And may you understand with compassion, of course, but listen, from time to time, may you also understand with a sense of humor each other's actions and behaviors. You know, what we call our little idiosyncrasies.
Humor?
And, yes, humor, yes. Right. So celebrate your differences when you can and delight in your similarities. Never cease learning how to communicate openly and truthfully, of course, because I believe that is the pathway to growth and to a greater intimacy. Finally, simply continue as you are. I haven't said anything you didn't already know. Just keep on being yourself. Maintain a sense of humor. Take time to be playful. Allow your passion and life for each other to endure. Continue to take time for each other. Be generous with yourself. Because remember that each of you is a gift to the other. Be kind and enjoy. Now, before we go on to the vows, we have a reading. Jim, I believe you want to share something with us?
Yes. So this was a message sent to Ariel and Francis today by their friend Monica Hoyt, and who couldn't be here today, so I'm just going to read what she wrote. And it says, Ariel and Francis, thinking of you on this special day. This poem came to me today. I wished I could be there. Yes, Ariel, I'm assisting Dr. Chang at 2:30. As I reflected on the times I've seen you two together, I always enjoyed the exchanges of smiles and support that you offered one another. You seem to offer each other insight, and I find that very special. Also, you two have explored unique topics together outside the norm to some, and I admire that. That you are not afraid to look deeply within yourself and discuss topics that a lot of people think about but don't discuss openly. I treasure
A lot of people wonder what those topics are, though. Let's say that.
I treasure and enjoy you both. Your sense of humor, wisdom, insight, and deep caring has touched me. Sending lots of love, and I will be thinking of you and hope to see you heal the body, mind, and spirit to the fullest together. Monica. And she sent a poem, and I will read it. Bear with me. It's by Khalil Gibran, and it's called Marriage. And forgive me if I mispronounce anybody's names in here. Then Almitra spoke again and said, "And what of marriage, Master?" And he answered, saying, "You were born together, and together you shall be forevermore. You shall be together when white wings of death scatter your days. Aye, you shall be together even in the silent memory of God. And let there be spaces in your togetherness. And let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love." Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let but let each one of you be alone, even as the strings of the lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping. For only the hand of life can obtain your hearts, and stand together, yet not too near together. For the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow.
So Ariel, Francis, it's time now for you to say your vows to each other and to speak to each other, right? So in the spirit of hope and confidence, we will now affirm the love and the trust that we have. And I know you have your own words you'd like to say and share with each other and with all of us. So who would like to go first?
Okay. So I didn't get to fully prepare either, so it's only been 12 and a half years. It really wasn't long enough to think about how to answer Ethot's question about why I'm marrying you. An answer as I was waking up, though, with you this morning, I was reflecting on what a stability you are for me in my life. What a just like a platform, just a profound sense of security and home that I feel with you. And so feeling that we belong together. And I'm just reflecting on some of the ways that we've expressed that through being good companions together when we just go to events together and experience the world together. A lot of similar interests and enjoyment about how we engage with people, and traveling together and debating to some extent together, but how you often have a perspective that helps me to see things in a different way than I would have on my own, as irritating as that is sometimes. And it's really helpful as it is sometimes, most of the time. So I appreciate our cuddling together and our physical ways of being together and our emotional connection and our debates and our way of experiencing the world similarly together. So I think of us as walking through life hand in hand.
So when I came to America, I was thinking I was going to have an adventure, but an incredible adventure meeting you. You're unique. There's no one like it. And I think I've moved and learned things that I'd never imagined learning before from being in a relationship with you. You bring me a lot of delight. Your ceaseless energy and your curiosity and your enthusiasm, just delightful. It's a really lovely quality you have. And you're very warm-hearted and caring. And I love the fact that we have so much familiarity over those 12 years. I was looking at you the other day, I was looking at your face, and your face is so familiar that I actually thought, is that my face? Your face is just there. So it's been hard in some ways, but I like what Jim said about differences and similarities. We have a lot of similarities and we have some differences. I think that's a good combination because it's testing. It hasn't always been comfortable, and I've been forced to see new perspectives and adapt with you, and that's been great for me, I think. So it's amazing just to be here on that adventure after 12 years, 15 years after I came to the US. This is where I've ended up, and I'm very, very happy about that.
It's funny, can I just say something?
Yeah, sure.
As I hear you say that and referencing coming to the US, I reflect on how for the first 6 months or a year of our relationship, I thought that your accent was, fascinating and that I would never get used to it. And since then I just, it's like, Francis has an accent. Francis, you know, it's just like you're just so you to me that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just so you. Nobody, you're so you. So you. And by the way, you have an accent too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but you're
I see. Right, just waiting others. Yeah. Okay. Are we going to?
Well, I'm sort of moved. I guess.
Yes.
I mean, there's more to do, but I'm just
Yes.
sort of like I'm
Okay.
used to facing our community. It's
Yeah.
just funny
Right,
to
yeah,
have
that's
our back to me. It feels like I feel like to
So
me.
will you kiss her?
To me, yeah. Well, in a while.
Later.
But to me, the community, all of you representing our community and you yourselves, like, are just like, to me, that's what almost makes the marriage. It's really the celebration and solidarity with the people who care about us all. So I just thanks for being here. And all of you who are here in other
Short
ways,
notice.
like you guys for being here over there, and and if
Thank
there's
you,
any,
Mariah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mariah. Vince. Thank you.
muted, I think.
Vincent.
thank you for being here from Amsterdam. And if anybody else is that you're moved to say something, I would like to hear it. I don't know if anyone is, but
Are you going to kiss her yet?
oh, it's too soon. I don't know you well enough.
After the vows.
It's after the vows. Does anybody like to say anything?
In other words, you were cheating before?
I'd like to say something.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'd like to say something.
We'll see if we can turn your volume up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Francis and Ariel. We have seen a lot of your relationship from year to year. We've seen the highs, we've seen the lows. We were very excited to hear your message yesterday. And we think you make a great choice together. You are both complete unique persons, and there's nobody who you could find better than the other unique person, because you are a really strange fit together. That's a very original one and a very exciting one. So we hope that your marriage will stay a long time, and that we'll see you in Nantucket soon. Thank you, and good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Mariah. Thank you,
Thank
Vince.
you.
Yay.
We love you.
Place it on her finger.
Ah.
In probably the
There
middle
you go.
one.
Yes.
This ring.
Look.
Aw. Do you want to say that?
Yay.
I was suggesting you say with this ring.
That's nice.
Good.
Well, this ring, some of you know, is my engagement ring from, I don't know if you can see that, from about, can you see it? I don't know where the camera, oh there. You can see that ring? That
Wow.
is my engagement ring from how many years ago? From eight years ago when you were going
Very
to
expensive.
to
engagement.
Iraq.
See that.
To Iraq, and so Francis chose to get me the biggest engagement ring that he could find. And
Is that 100% lucite?
so we've had that hanging on the light by the door coming into the house, and
It's actually a pretty important talisman for us, in fact.
yeah, it's meaningful.
Been there the
Had
whole
that
time.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I had to wear it around my neck because it didn't. But yeah, I don't know. Does it fit on one of your fingers?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew it might fit. Just that.
Good.
Afraid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have your.
Now, want to go ahead with a vow?
Can I think about it a little while?
12 more years.
We have a little private
Okay.
conversation.
All right. Now, let's formalize this. I ask you, Francis, do you take Ariel to be your wife?
Hang on a second.
Oh, never mind.
I do. I really do.
Will you love her, grow with her, listen to her when she is troubled, support and encourage her, comfort her in times of sickness and health, and care for her and be cared for by her as long as you both shall live?
I will.
Ariel, I ask you, do you take Francis to be your husband?
Oh, you don't do the same stuff? What am I supposed to say?
I do.
Oh, I thought you were supposed to read the same stuff, no?
I do.
I
Will you love
I
him,
see. Sorry.
grow with him,
That's why I did
listen, Listen to him when he is troubled. Support and encourage him. Be faithful to him. Comfort him in times of sickness and health. Will you care for him and be cared for by him as long as you both live? Now, ready to repeat after me to each other? Okay. So we'll start with you, Francis. Okay. I love you, Ariel.
I love you, Ariel.
And today, in the presence of family and friends,
And today, in the presence of family and friends,
I choose you to be my wife.
I choose you to be my wife.
I will love and care for you,
I will love and care for you,
cherish and respect you always.
cherish and respect you always.
Now, I love you, Francis. Today, in the presence of family and friends,
And today, in the presence of family and friends,
I choose you to be my husband.
Jesus Christ. I choose you to be my husband.
I will love and care for you,
I will love and care for you,
cherish and respect you.
cherish and respect you always.
And now, say simultaneously to each other, this commitment is made with love,
This commitment is made with love,
kept in trust,
kept in
Kept in
trust,
trust
and lived consciously
and
and
lived
lived
consciously
consciously
every day.
every
every
day.
day.
And I'm sure everybody here can appreciate the depth of feeling with which you two have just made these promises. And I trust, of course, you'll always keep them close to your heart, just where they are at this very moment. Now, I'd like to say a word to all of you. Okay, now, you're all here as family and friends, right? But you're also here as witnesses. You've just witnessed these two, what they've said to each other, and the promises they have made, right? So I suggest now that all of you have a commitment to them. What would that be? To stand by them now in their resolve, to support them and encourage them along the way, and to rejoice with them in times of happiness and success, starting now. So if you all agree with what I've just said, would you indicate now your commitment to Francis and Ariel by saying aloud together, and you can applaud as well, a resounding, heartfelt, we do.
We do!
After he kisses the bride.
We're building up to that, okay? All right. So, Francis and Ariel, it is certainly an honor and a pleasure, a delight to be with you today and to be a part of such an important moment in your life. I've been a part of that journey, and I appreciate it, and I value it very much. I wish you all the best. May Spirit bless you and keep you. May the light of sun shine upon you. May the presence of love abide within you. You have this day raised a warm shelter and a safe haven for your life together. May your love for and commitment to each other last all the days of your lives. May your souls remain as mates forever. Now, by the authority vested in me, and more importantly, actually, by the authority of your love and commitment, as promised to each other this very hour, I happily pronounce you. Are you ready to hear this?
Yes!
Husband and wife.
It's about time.
Mazel tov! Yay! Beautiful job!
We've even got sirens going on.
Thank you guys for staying up.
What is that?
The rain stick. Makes noise. It's subtle. Now it is.
Yeah. We're supposed to sign the license.
Oh, I'm supposed to throw it.
We have to sign the license.
Oh, we have to sign the license.
Yes, we have to sign the license. So we have to do that now.
Can we bring it up? It's on the table where this was. Maybe you did.
Good.
It was where the instruments were. Would somebody grab the license? You know what it looks like in the envelope? Do you know where it was?